We're doing pepper beef stir fry for this one. It is a really quick, easy, and absolutely delicious recipe. It takes about 25 minutes from start to finish, and all of the ingredients are really easy to get. I am using fillet steak for this, which can be quite pricey. You don't have to use that. You can use flank, skirt, or even rump, and even chicken if you wanted to make it a lot cheaper. Like I said, we're gonna need the fillet steak. You can use another protein of your choice, and you can make it vegetarian if you want to. We're also gonna need some oil, sriracha sauce, sesame oil, soy sauce. I'm going to use Kaffir lime leaves and lemongrass. This is completely optional. These are just excess ingredients that I had in my freezer, so I'm going to chuck them in the rice. Going to need some brown sugar, corn flour to make a nice thick slurry, obviously rice, and a whole load of different vegetables, which is your choice of which ones you want to use. Other than that, let's get straight into it. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy.
We're starting off with the prep. We need 1 red and 1 green bell pepper or capsicum, and everyone does things differently, so I'll show you 2 ways to do these. The first being is to slice this in half through the core, then simply snap out the pith and seeds, which come out pretty easily, and then just give these a bang on the bench to remove any sneaky seeds lurking about. The second method is to slice off a small strip from both the top and bottom, with those trimmings being able to go in the dish as well. Flip the pepper onto its side and make a small slice down the side to open it up, then get in there with the knife and follow around the core to open it up with 1 single piece, and then just bang it on the bench too to remove any seeds. Both of these can then be sliced into medium to large chunks or strips if you prefer, leaving us with this, and it's okay to mix these together. Now to add extra veggies, here is 3 bunches of baby bok choy that can have their roots removed. Then to separate the leaves, just snap them off, and I recommend giving these a wash as the inner layer will most likely be a little bit dirty. With this, separate the leaves from the stems as they cook at different times, and give the leaves a rough chop, but not too small as they pretty much cook down to nothing. As for the stems, these can also be sliced into strips similar to the size of the bell peppers or capsicums. If you didn't know, using a spoon to peel ginger is the most efficient way to reduce waste, as it's literally only removing the skin and none of the flesh, unlike a knife or regular peeler, and this right here weighs 20 grams or 0.7 ounces. With the peeled ginger and 5 cloves of garlic, run them both along a microplane or the smaller side of a box grater, trying your best to get it all out of there for 0 waste. Now, like I said in the intro, I'm using 600 grams or 1.3 pounds of beef fillet, also known as filet mignon or chateaubriand, and this right here is the grain to which the fiber and tissue run along, and we're going to cut across that, which will relax it and make it even more tender than it already is. With that said, let's then use a sharp knife to slice across the grain, trying to get this as even as possible in size so that it cooks at the same time, which is quite important as this dish really is quick to make. The sauce is also really simple to put together, so start by adding half a cup or 125 milliliters of low sodium soy sauce to a mixing bowl, along with 30 grams or 1.06 ounces of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of sriracha sauce or a chili sauce of your choice, or even leave it out if you're not a fan, 2 teaspoons or 10 milliliters of toasted sesame oil, 1.5 tablespoons or 12 grams of corn flour, which will help thicken everything, and of course cracked black pepper. 30 cracks worth. Let's then get in there with a whisk and mix until smooth, and this mixture is a combination of salty, slightly sweet, slightly spicy and nutty flavours with that nice strong umami flavour. The sugar also adds a light caramel flavour and can be reduced if you wanted to cut down on the sugar, but with that done, just pop this out of the way for a sec. I'm serving this with rice, and to cook it, place a large saucepan over high heat, add in 400 grams of washed jasmine rice, which is more fragrant and aromatic than basmati, and then just follow that up with 600 milliliters or 600 grams of cold water. Like I said in the intro, I'm using 1 stalk of bruised lemongrass and 4 Kaffir lime leaves for infusion, but these are completely optional. Also adding in a pinch of salt to taste, then just give this a quick mix through to break up any clumps and bring it to a boil. Once there, reduce the heat down to low, place it on a lid or foil if you don't have one, and cook undisturbed for 12 minutes. After 12 minutes, turn this off the heat and leave the lid on for another 6 minutes, then take off the lid, locate, remove and discard the infusion ingredients if using, and then just fluff this up with a spatula or fork before moving it out of the way. This can also be cooked whilst we do the next part if you wanted to. As for the next part, place a wok or large pan over high heat, add in 2 teaspoons or 10 milliliters of peanut oil, and once really hot, add in the red and green peppers, and then this can just be stir fried for 2 to 2.5 minutes or until al dente and lightly golden. This will also let off almost like a smoky flavour, which works incredibly well with the other flavours. Next, add in the stems of 3 baby bok choy and continue stir frying for 1 minute, just to lightly soften the bok choy and again gain some colour, looking like this, that can then be placed into a bowl for the time being. Place the wok or pan back over high heat, add in another 2 teaspoons or 10 milliliters of peanut oil, and this time add in the thinly sliced beef, doing this in batches, also adding in a pinch of salt if you wanted to, and with the heat being really high, this will be really quick, so stir fry for 45 seconds to 1 minute, just until it's very lightly browned all over, but definitely not cooked through, which will look like this, and then just remove it and repeat with the other batch. Now place the wok or pan over medium-high heat, add in the stir-fried veggies along with the lightly seared beef, the baby bok choy leaves, both the minced garlic and ginger pastes, and all of the rich sauce, ensuring it all goes in there as it tastes so good. All that needs to be done now is bring the sauce to a light boil and mix all of those ingredients really well for those flavors to become friends. As the sauce heats, the corn flour will start to react and thicken the sauce, coating everything really well, and this only takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes. We can then portion the rice into 5 meal prep containers, which I have a link for in the description if you're interested. Then same as the rice, divide the pepper beef mix by 5 as well. Be sure to top this with any leftover sauce, as that's where all of the flavour is, and then garnish with sesame seeds, which are completely optional. What we've then just created is these super quick and delicious pepper beef stir fries that we can let cool for a little bit before placing on the lids, and these will last 4 days in the fridge and 4 months in the freezer. Everything together is pretty low in calories, making these a great meal for any occasion, and to reheat, simply do so in a microwave or pan until hot. The only thing left to do is we can then dig in. The flavors in that are absolutely incredible. The combination of the vegetables, obviously with the beef and the rice, it all goes absolutely fantastic together. There is a little bit of heat in the sauce, that's from the sriracha. You don't have to use it if you don't want to, but I do recommend leaving that pepper in for that additional heat. You can also add chili to it if you want even more heat, but I do recommend just leaving it like this. It is absolutely incredible.